Jack Black returns as Po, the dragon kung fu fighter, seeking to find the truth about his childhood while attempting to stop an evil overlord bent on taking over all of China in Kung Fu Panda 2.
I have received a message.
Under the guidance of Kung Fu Master Shifu.
From the universe?
From a messenger.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Played by Dustin Hoffman, Po, with the help of his dedicated Kung Fu allies, must stop Lord Shen, a banished peacock seeking revenge, from destroying China with his weapons of mass destruction.
This could mean the end of Kung Fu.
But when confronted by the truth of his past, Po, with the help of his father and his friends, must learn to accept who he is and what he is destined for in Kung Fu Panda 2. So the movie that we're here to discuss is Kung Fu Panda 2, made by DreamWorks Studios, and we've all just seen it, so let's talk about it.
Well, I would say the theme of the film is about living in the present and finding inner peace, and I thought this is a point where Kung Fu Panda 2 succeeded over Kung Fu Panda 1, and it was very thoughtfully and heartfully executed. And I just really enjoyed myself, and I thought Kung Fu Panda 1 had the theme of self-acceptance, but it was veiled in a lot of fat panda jokes.
For me, where this movie speaks to me, it's a parody of these wuxia films, of this absurd, physics-defying kung fu masters, and so I think that's where it's best served.
Stealth mode.
Well, and I really feel like this film is part of DreamWorks Animation really growing up. You really see DreamWorks coming into its own, making some really challenging and interesting dramatic risks with the stories that they tell, with really stunning animation.
While there's nothing particularly groundbreaking about this story, these writers clearly demonstrate a craftsmanship and a respect for the art. Everything ties back into Po. And it's all masterfully woven together.
But there were some plot holes. I mean, they alluded to Tigress's, broken home or something that happened to do with Tigress's background, never followed through.
That's going to happen in the third one.
Well, I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah. And there will be a third one, and I think that's, I don't know what the problem's for me with the movie. I liked it, but it's obviously setting us up for some kind of franchise.
Well, but if it is a well-done cash cow,
yeah, it's a franchise I could buy into,
yeah,
for sure.
And the writing really works because of the casting. And this film, unlike Kung Fu Panda 1, which felt more like an ensemble film, this film is really a Jack Black vehicle.
For me, Jack Black is a little bit too much at times.
What?
He's fine in small doses. And so what I think this film is really clever about is that it mutes him, right? Because it's only the voice and not the body.
I feel like I just totally disagree.
It's really hard to feel empathy for him. It's really hard to be in his corner. And there's something about what they do in animation is that he's the voice and no body, and you can buy into him. But the rest of the cast,
you've got, Angelina Jolie, Michelle Yeoh, you've got Victor Garber, you've got David Cross, you've got JCVD.
Four greatest words in action,
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
But speaking of kind of how this film was really put together, we really have to talk about who was at the helm, which is a pretty historical thing. Jennifer Ye, who is the director, is one of the first women to direct an animated feature at a major studio.
Super cool kung fu pose. Face off against the enemy. Scare them.
My fist hungers for justice!
I really would like to see what you guys thought about what she was able to achieve, and if you guys felt like she was a good director.
She was actually the head of story for the first Kung Fu Panda, and she has done a lot of storyboarding as well as illustration for production. And she really brought it.
Because there's a lot of gags, humor-wise, that get set up in one shot and get visually honored in the next. That just only someone who's smart about animation and knows how to work with those departments could really execute.
Yeah.
The director did a really good job of, as Wayne says, allowing the pieces to come together for the film to really cohere.
Well, and speaking about the elements, let's actually talk about the animation.
I felt like the 3D was really in service of the story, and it did a lot to create depth and planes where I felt like I was moving through this space.
DreamWorks very intensively designed stereo as part of its shots.
But it became 3D when it clicked for him, when his flashback occurred, and that was a really smart, sweet, idea.
The going between like the 2D flashbacks, which were very emotionally affecting, and then going back to 3D and seeing the effect on him were really emotionally affecting. I'm not ashamed to say it, but I cry.
I personally felt the style of the 2D took me out just a little bit. But it's probably because I feel like the 3D animation was so much prettier.
I think that the craftsmanship part is how well you take us in and out of that. And if you're not able to mask its contrivances and its connecting points, then it becomes gimmicky.
But in this movie, it becomes an enhancement too. I want to talk about the action sequences where like their fighting styles are reflective of what their body type and what kind of animals they are.
They had several kung fu choreographers who helped to really ground the martial arts styles, but also ground the spirituality of those styles.
There are actual martial art style that's modified. That's
But it's based
modeled
on
after
animals, yeah.
exactly.
I just need inner peace? My innards are already super, super peaceful.
I think with that, we are all kind of in this like big love fest with this film,
Which is
which
odd.
is unusual. I think we should actually move to a vote. What do you guys think?
Sure.
All right.
Inner peace? You're going down.
So the film is Kung Fu Panda 2. We've all just seen it. People, pick up your tickets so we can vote. All right. So Wayne, would you like to start?
All right, sure. I thought I wasn't going to like a sequel of this movie, but I ended up really enjoying it. I love the animation, the story is solid, so I'm going to give a see it.
Yes.
Yes.
James.
It's got a bit of thematic heft, a bit of history, and a sort of allegory to it. There's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, see it.
Liz, what do you think?
All right, though inferior to the first one, it had a lot of heart and I really enjoyed myself, so I'm gonna say see it.
Okay, and Leah?
I thought that the animation was stunning. I thought the writing was very well executed. I thought that Jack Black's performance was very enjoyable. I thought there were lots of laughs for both the kids and the adults, and so I'm gonna have to say this is a see it.
Awesome.
All right.
So that would be 4 tickets, which is a just see it for Kung Fu Panda 2.
All right.
Woo!
Yes.
All right.
Chin chin.
I can chin chin to that.
Yep.